Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Kaya and Lone Dog. Chapter 4, Danger for the Pups. Each morning when Kaya awoke, she first thought of Lone Dog. She dressed and left the teepee even before her grandmother began to sing her morning prayers. Kaya loved spending time with the puppies before the work of the day began. "Tots may we, Lone Dog," Kaya called softly as she approached the den in the early mist. "It's me again." Every day awaited her as the puppies grew and changed. After the pups had opened their eyes, they learned to use their stubby legs to creep out. Once they could walk around their den, they began sniffing too and sniffing each other. Then their baby teeth began to show. Chewing on one another's ears and paws became their pastime. And soon after they began to chew, their hearing developed. Now as Kaya approached them, the puppies turned toward their voice. Their largest pup, which she called Tatlo because he still made her think of a ground squirrel, peeked over the side of the nest. "Are you glad to see me?" Kaya asked Lone Dog, who lay among her puppies. Lone Dog's tail wagged as Kaya patted her and then stroked Tatler's soft little ears. As Kaya stroked three little other pups, Lone Dog jumped out of the nest and took the bone Kaya had brought to her. She carried it off a short way and lay down to chew it. She was leaving her puppies more and more often, though she still lay nearby to protect them. Of course, the puppies didn't like their mother leaving them, even for a little while. They yipped and pawed the sides of the nest, trying to call her back to them. Enjoying her bone, Lone Dog ignored their whispers and cries. "Hush, hush," Kaya crooned to them. "Your mother needs a rest. She'll come to you soon enough." With his paws on the edge of the nest, Tatlo watched the Lone Dog content and munch the bone. The pup impatiently scratched harder and harder, wanting to follow her. Then he got his hind feet going and managed to creep higher. For a moment he teetered on the edge of the nest, then thrust himself over and tumbled out. His high-pitched yelp brought Lone Dog to his side. She licked her startled dog to calm him down. Tatlo's wail excited the other pups to more frantic yipping. Kaya knew that very soon they'd learn how to follow their brother out of the nest. "How will you take care of the pups when they can roam about?" Kaya mused aloud. Lone Dog's yellow eyes gazed into hers. She seemed to be saying, "I'll teach them to come back to this safe place if there's trouble." Kaya scratched Lone Dog behind her ears. "But what if a coyote trails them?" she asked. "What if a bear finds your den?" Lone Dog nudged Tatlo back into the nest, then jumped after him. The pups swarmed over their mother as she lay down again to nurse them. She nestled by her side, her eyes still on Kaya. She seemed to be saying, "They'll obey me. Wait, you'll see." "I'd like to wait," Kaya said, "but I have to join the others now. I'll come back as soon as I can." Kaya ran all the way to the stream, where the women and girls splashed the icy water before taking their morning sweat bath. Besides the lodge, a fire burned on the pile of stones, heating them red hot. Easta was pushing some glowing stones into the lodge to warm them while the others swam. Kaya undressed and joined them. When everyone had crowded into the dimly lit lodge, Easta pulled the deerskin over the doorway. Then she sprinkled cold water onto the heated stones. They sizzled and popped, sending up a cloud of steam. The women and girls joined in a song of thanks and praise to Grandfather Sweat Lodge for helping them and guarding them against illness. Hugging her knees, Kaya sat beside her grandmother. "I was looking for you, granddaughter," Cayusta said. "Where were you?" She rubbed her shoulders and arms with the soft tips of the fir branches that covered on the floor. "I went to see the puppies again," Kaya said. Already she felt sweat running off her face and down her back. "How is the Lone Dog behaving now?" Kaya's grandmother asked, handing her a handful of the sweet-smelling fur to scrub herself. "She likes me to visit her," Kaya murmured. Although her grandmother had given her permission to feed Lone Dog, Kaya knew she didn't really trust the dog. Her pups are getting big and fat. Tots, Cayusta said. Soon she'll start to wean them. Then they'll join our dog pack, if the lone dog lets them. Kaya leaned closer to her grandmother. Sometimes the lone dog seems to be talking to me with her eyes, she whispered. Do you believe me? Eustace said right away. I believe you. Animals talk to us in many ways. But I mean, she really speaks to me, Kaya whispered even more softly. Cayusta sat with her head bent, silently breathing in the cleansing stream. After a time, she said, I'm thinking about my mother. When she was a girl, she received a wolf spirit, and after that she could talk with wolves. One day, when she was very old, a wolf trotted along the trail where she was picking berries. The wolf was sad because her puppies had died. My mother was feeling very sorry for the wolf. She asked the wolf if she could help her. The wolf told her that she was leaving the mountains and refused to help. Then she gave my mother the gift of her wolf power, and that made my mother even stronger. The wolf spoke to her? Kaya asked, like Lone Dog speaks to me? All creatures have wisdom to share with us, Cayusta said. Soon you'll prepare for your vision quest, and I hope you'll receive a Waiken of your own. If you do, you must always listen closely to what it tells you. Kaya said. With all her heart, she hoped to be ready for her vision quest. Would she receive wolf power as her great-grandmother had? As Kaya tried to imagine that, Easta pulled aside the deerskin covering the door and signaled everyone leaving to the steamy lodge and plunged into the stream again. You're too old to quarrel like this, Kaya said to the twins. Listen to me and do as I say. She held Wingfeather by one hand and Sparrow by the other. The little boys had been wrestling playfully on the hillside when their game suddenly became too rough. Sparrow tried to pull his hand away from her grasp. Wingfeather scowled. We lost most of our arrows, he said. If you make us some more, I promise we won't fight over them. Kaya said. If you sit there quietly, I'll make more arrows for you. She sighed as she cut some straight twigs from the elderberry bush. Her little brothers were full of energy and full of tricks. Easta told Kaya to take care of them even more now that she couldn't dig roots with the other men and women. But the twins didn't pay enough attention to Kaya's warnings. Kaya wished she could teach the boys to obey her as easily as Lone Dog had taught her pups. Usually it takes the dog no more than a soft growl or shake to bring her troublesome pups in line again. Like the twins, the pup romped and wrestled and tugged and chased one another all day. But sometimes Lone Dog gave a special growl that meant, take cover. Then they tumbled back into the den where they were safe from bobcats or an eagle hovering overhead. She's taught her pups well, Kaya thought, as she finished cutting notches in the arrows. Here, boys, Kaya said, I've made 2 arrows for each of you. You can go hunting again. Wingfeather had fallen asleep on the soft grass, his hand tucked into his baby moccasin, which he'd always kept with him. He rolled back and rubbed his eyes. Kapsi yow yow, he said, reaching for the little arrows. Kaya looked around for Sparrow. He's been lying on his stomach by his brother, but now he's nowhere to be seen. Is that bothersome boy hiding from me again? Kaya asked Wingfeather. I have to teach him. Do you know which way he might have gone? Wingfeather's lips stuck out. He should have waited for him. I told him we couldn't visit the puppies without you, but he... Puppies! Kaya's pulse sped. She imagined Sparrow sneaking up on Lone Dog's den, determined to touch the pups. She didn't believe that Lone Dog would hurt the boy, but she couldn't be certain. She knew only that she had to get to her brother as fast as he could. Come on, she said. She grabbed Wingfeather's hand and started running. Kaya and her little brother rushed down the path alongside the stream. Then they turned and ran up to the long, steep hillside. Lone Dog's den was on the far side of the hill, hidden from underneath the underbrush. Kaya paused on the crest of the hill to look for Sparrow. In a moment, she saw him coming around the base of the hill below her. He was running as slightly as a shadow, as he'd been taught. He was going to get to the den before she could. Would Lone Dog chase him away with a nip? Kaya could barely make out the entrance of the den. Something dark moved in there, but it didn't look like a dog. Then Kaya realized that a bear was digging at the opening of the den, trying to get at the hidden puppies. And running at the hill, Sparrow couldn't be able to see the bear until he reached the clearing. "Stay here," Kaya commanded Wingfeather as she took the racing off of the den as fast as she could. It was like running in a bad dream. Her feet felt as if she were weighted with stones. She didn't shout for Sparrow to stay back because she didn't want to startle the bear. If it turned on her little brother, it could kill him with a single swipe of its sharp claws. Then the bear heard Sparrow coming. It swung around and lumbered away from the den. Its huge head swayed, its jaws wide. Just at that moment, Sparrow burst into the clearing. He saw that bear and skidded to a halt, and then he scrambled toward the den as if he wanted to crawl into the puppies. There was no way for him to hide from the bear, which was headed right at him. Okay, and that's the end of that chapter. See you later.